story time.
All right. Oh, this one was one that had you guys talking in Discord before we even got here. So tell me about the one that got away, Nerd Edition. So a story about a rare collectible, a game, a comic that you had in your grasp, but you lost due to poor luck, poor judgment, or overprotective parent, or some other circumstance. So something that got away, even though you really, really wish you still had it, or had it in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So, Rilo, you immediately had something that you thought of in Discord.
Yeah. So, stupid 11-year-old me saves up enough money to get a used Nintendo 64.
Mm.
Awesome. It's the first time I'm going in and buying a game system for myself.
Mm-hmm.
I go in to the game store and I pick out a regular old Nintendo 64 with an expansion pack.
Mm-hmm.
Right next to it, and I thought about it, was the Hey You Pikachu.
Is that the blue and yellow one?
The blue and yellow one with Pikachu on it, and Pikachu's foot is the reset button, and it lights up like right there. Same price. I went with the regular version because I was like, it has the expansion pack. I never once owned a game that used that thing. I didn't have Donkey Kong 64 or Perfect Dark or anything. No.
Well, if I remember correctly, the expansion pack was just like some extra RAM for it or something like
Yes.
that.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It's just extra RAM.
So I'm looking it up now.
The price?
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. $35 was what I would have paid at that time.
I'm not into Pokemon at all, but that's an adorable.
Isn't it cool?
It is very cool. It is very cool.
and recently a collector's shop in my town got one in, and I got to refurbish it. And I am so tempted to buy it, but it's like I cannot justify spending $300 some odd on a Nintendo 64 that is used. And
I mean, do you really need justification? Do you?
Yes,
really
I'm an adult. I'm an adult with adult.
Exactly, you're an adult. You can eat chocolate cake whenever you want.
Using that logic has screwed me over so many times.
I know. I've gotten myself with that logic. I know.
Oh man, the one that got away,
Yeah.
Pikachu. Should have used a Master Ball on it.
I at least got to own the Hey You Pikachu, so I had the game.
Yeah.
And it worked just about as well.
You still had the system, so it's, you know.
Yeah, I still had a Nintendo 64.
You didn't miss out. You missed out on a collector's item for sure.
I missed out on a really cool collector's item, and I probably wouldn't have sold my Nintendo 64 if I had the Pikachu one.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, Scott, what do you got? What got away from you?
So mine is a very niche nerdy. Those that know me know I'm a musician. I'm a bass player by trade. Oh, nice bass. I always run into other basses, I swear to God. It's like a magnetic pole. So for me, it's the instrument that got away. This was, let's say, maybe like 6-7 years ago. I was working part-time. I had just gotten out of school, gotten out of Art Institute for my second degree. Was trying to make a studio happen. And I was really like tight on funds and everything like that. I had actually sold, not too long before that, I had actually sold like one of my old basses that I had for years that I gigged with regularly. So I was already like hurting. Because if you know, I don't know how many musicians listen to your show, but for the musicians, you get an instrument that you gig with and you play regularly, it becomes a part of you. And you know, circumstances being what they were, I had to sell it because I needed money. And that, I swear, I sold like part of my soul. So that's one of the ones that got away. There's a few, but the one that really got away from me, there's a used instrument shop that I go to in Georgia called Music Around. And I had gone in there one day. I think I'd gotten like some overtime or something, so I actually had like some money. And I didn't have a bass at the time, so I was like, I need to get a bass. I'm just gonna buy a cheap one, that way I've got something to play. And so there's a brand out, I don't know if it's still out there or not, but it's called SX, and it's just kind of I don't know if they're offshoot brand or whatever, but they usually sell really cheap instruments. And there was this beautiful red, it was kind of like a jazz bass.
Yeah.
And what I didn't realize at the time is the pickets. Well, I realized at the time is the pickups, because this was a used instrument. Whenever they sold it, they had swapped out this like stock pickups for a pair of Bartolini's. Now Bartolini pickups are very high end, very unique sounding pickups. And I guess the shop didn't realize that, because this thing was on sale for like, I want to say it was like $150, around there. It was under $200, so it was a steal, And I didn't realize it when I bought it. I was just like, okay, cool, this is good. And I got it home and I plugged it in, and the thing sounded amazing. Like it was such a strong but crisp bass, just really crisp highs, really fat lows. It played like a dream. I loved that bass. And I was, and granted too, I'm not great with money. I was really bad with money too. Or no, actually, no, what happened was I'd gotten a bass, and then at the studio I was trying to work at, one of our speakers blew. So I had to trade that in to buy a set of speakers for the studio. I did, because at the Music Around you could trade in instruments and get your money back and everything like that. So I traded that instrument in to get new speakers for the studio. And then I never saw it again.
Man.
Like because it was one of those, like, just, with any used shop or any pawn shop, like, you can if you look hard enough, you can find gold. And it was like I struck diamonds with that bass. Like to this day, I still wish I had that bass, because it was such a good sounding bass. And having to trade that in, and then not too long after it, the studio folded, so that was especially hurt. It's like
a double whammy.
Yeah, it was rough. So
oh man,
Keys of
does sound quite rough. Yeah. Oh,
so again, not quite as nerdy as the N64 thing, but still just as gut wrenching.
There you go. Got it for you.
I should listen to Her Blue Sky.
Oh, yeah. So Random Kids said you should watch the anime Her Blue Sky. I've seen that one.
I've heard of it.
I think I watched it a few months back. If I remember correctly, the
Oh,
main character is a bass guitarist.
yes.
She ends up running into a younger version of her sister's boyfriend who is in a band, even
Hmm.
though the actual version of him is alive, so it's not like it's a ghost or anything. Um, but yeah, maybe. Um,
Oh god, it looks like it's gonna be that looks like that's gonna be on the
I don't know how much
on
you
the.
watch anime though.
I watch I watch anime pretty regularly.
Okay,
I've
so
been
maybe.
I've fallen off a little bit, but I'm picking it back up, especially related to something I'm working on, possibly for Dragon Con.
Okay, well, I'm pretty sure it's a movie, so it's not like a full commitment to
Yeah,
a series or anything.
yeah.
So,
This looks like it's going to be a tearjerker, which is fine. I'll have to check it out.
uh, it wasn't too bad. I don't remember like getting super emotional, but it had emotional undertones, but it wasn't like a huge tearjerker, at least for
Mhm.
me. But
I
yeah,
will say
could be.
I did love Bochi the Rock.
Oh, I keep hearing good things about that. I haven't tried it yet.
It's such a lovely, like heartwarming story, with some incredible music.
Okay, and
Um,
it's a girl band, right? That
yep,
is the main focus of that
yeah.
one.
The main character, Bochi, has like severe anxiety, and is very much like a shut in. So she picks up guitar, thinking it's going to make her social. She gets really good at guitar, but still struggles socially, and it follows her journey of like finding other girls in her school that also play, and then forming a band, and then playing their first live show and everything like that. Um, and it's really sweet, lots of fun. But there's some really amazing heartfelt moments. Like you see her break through those social anxieties that she has.
Okay,
I'd highly recommend it. And a lot
I'll have to give that one a try.
and I'm a huge fan of like J rock and anime music, but that show's got some just really fun and wonderful music.
Okay, yeah, I'll definitely have to give that a try. Um, for me, the one that got away, I've got two. The first one is have either of you ever heard of Hero Clicks?
Yes.
Hero clicks.
Yeah, so it's a board game where you collect the pieces. They've got two different versions. There's a Marvel version and a DC version. They might have a third version too. But anyway, regardless, I played primarily the Marvel version, and I had a Nightcrawler unique. So that's the uniques are the rarer ones that you can get. Um, and at the time it was worth, I don't know, maybe $50. Now
Mhm.
it's not, it hasn't maintained its value, but the way that I lost it is the part that's heartbreaking to me. My
Mm.
mom decided to clean my room and I had left it in the box. And she's
Oh
like,
no.
"Oh, and hero clicks are relatively light." She thought it was an empty box and just threw it away. And
Mm.
I was like, "Oh."
Good old mom getting rid of it.
So that one hurt, but this next one hurts more. As a teenager, I was huge into Yu-Gi-Oh, real
Mm.
big into the Yu-Gi-Oh scene.
Mhm.
And when you went to a tournament, you would get a tournament pack. And the tournament packs were notorious for not having good rates. But each season had a very specific chase card. During season 2, so this is early on for Yu-Gi-Oh. During season 2, I pulled the chase card, which is a morphing jar,
Okay.
and the the owner of the store immediately saw it, and he's like, I'll trade you $100 worth of product for it. And being a teenager, I'm like, oh,
Heck yeah.
okay, yeah. Well, it is like in the top 100 of most valuable Yu-Gi-Oh cards now.
Oh no.
Where it's worth, depending on the day, it's usually about $2,000 is what it's worth.
Wow.
But it's gotten up to like $6,000 or $7,000 at different times.
Oof.
And so I'm just like, I pulled that. I could have that. I mean, that'd be so nice. I could sell it and get a really, really, really nice computer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I traded it for stuff that at the time I was like, awesome. Yeah, $100 worth of product. But no.
Yeah, but would it have survived another round of your mom cleaning your room?
Yeah, right. Well, and would it have survived in general? Like a lot of my cards back from that era, they're not in the best of condition.
Yeah.
My Yu-Gi-Oh cards are in decent condition compared to some of the other playing cards that I had. Like my Pokemon cards are they're pretty rough.
Same.
If someone took a look at my my limited base Venusaur, they'd be like, "You're a monster."
It was like, well, yeah, we actually used to play with them.
Yeah, right. How was I supposed to know that it'd be worth tons of money if I had actually kept it in good condition? But yeah, no, that one, every year or two, I'll take a look at how much Morphing Jar is going for. It's definitely the one that got away.
You gotta stop torturing yourself.
Right?
You're doing it to yourself.
I really am. I really am.
You're Wolverine with the Jean Grey picture.
My Morphing Jar. Oh man.